I contend India has a very big opportunity in reverse innovation. And what do we mean by reverse innovation? Historically, corporations innovated in a rich country like the US and sold those products in a poor country like India. And reverse innovation is about doing exactly the opposite. It's about innovating in a poor country like India and then selling those products in a rich country like the US. I contend this is a significant opportunity. Today on planet Earth, there are 7 billion people. Out of the 7 billion, only 2 billion have the purchasing power to buy the goods and services corporations make today. There are 5 billion non-consumers. And the reason they are non-consumers is they cannot consume the business models you are giving to the consumers. If they could consume it, they would have already become consumers. But if you can do breakthrough innovation, if you can do nonlinear innovation, you can convert those 5 billion non-consumers into consumers. And that requires making affordable products at high quality. Obviously, if you can do that innovation, breakthrough innovation for non-consumers, it can also transform the lives of the 2 billion rich. If you create a product for the rich guy, poor guy can't afford it. But if you can create a good quality product for the poor, everybody can afford it. This is the idea behind reverse innovation. And I say of the 5 billion non-consumers, bulk of them reside in emerging markets like India. And that is why I contend this is a big opportunity for India. And one way to think about this opportunity is I divide India into 3 Indias. And India number 1 is really the top of the economic pyramid. And this is the developed India. I would say India number 1, probably the purchasing power or the GDP per capita in India number 1 would be probably 10 times the national average. Corporations historically innovated for the top of the economic pyramid, and we should continue to do that. But then there is India number 2. And India number 2 is the middle of the economic pyramid. And here we are talking about average GDP per capita. By the way, India number 1 primarily resides in the 8 mega cities. This would include Chennai, Calcutta, Mumbai, and Delhi, but also will have cities like Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune. And India number 2, the middle of the economic pyramid, primarily resides in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 small towns, and that would be about 6,000 of them. Here we are talking about average per capita income. If you want to serve India number 2, you have to do breakthrough innovation, because the purchasing power in India number 2 is fundamentally different than India number 1. Then there is India number 3. India number 3 is the underdeveloped India. This is the bottom of the economic pyramid. They reside primarily in the 600,000 villages. And the purchasing power and the per capita income in India number 2 is probably 10 times what it is in India number 3. And my challenge to corporations is, let us first try to innovate for India number 2. And capturing that space in India number 2 requires breakthrough innovation. And there are 3 reasons why it is profitable for Indian corporations to innovate for India number 2. Reason number 1 is today itself, India number 2 is a big segment. So it's got enough scale for you to justify the breakthrough innovation dollars. The second reason is if you project out 10 years, what you're likely to see is India number 2 will assume more bulk. And if you want to participate in India number 2 in 2029, you got to start today. So the second reason is the price could be even bigger 10 years from today. And the third reason is if you can innovate for India number 2, you can take the same business models and take it to other emerging markets. And even take it to developed countries like the US. This is the reverse innovation opportunity. I'm not even talking about bottom of the economic pyramid. That's very, very hard to make money. Let's first capture the space in India number 2, and then further we can think about India number 3. Narayana Health is a good example of a business model that is created for India number 2. Narayana Health does open heart surgery for $2,000. Open heart surgery in the US will cost at least $150,000. And because Narayana Health, their cost of open heart surgery is 75 times less, doesn't mean their quality is 75 times inferior. I don't even know how you can do poor quality heart surgery. One measure of quality in a heart surgery is mortality rates 30 days after surgery. For Narayana Health, their mortality rates 30 days after surgery is 1.2%. And the US average is 2%. So their quality is on par, maybe even slightly ahead. And this is the point that I want to drive home. Reverse innovation doesn't mean make poor quality products at low cost. Reverse innovation means let us push the price performance paradigm. Let's do more with less. Let us do a lot more with lot less. Let us produce world-class quality products at ultra low cost. Counterintuitive as it may seem, the quality demanded by non-consumers in India is higher than the quality demanded by consumers in the US. That is certainly true for open heart surgery. If a surgeon does open heart surgery on an American, say in the best cardiac hospital in the US, Mayo Clinic, the surgeon doesn't have to have the same high quality to reduce mortality as compared to an Indian surgeon doing exactly the same open heart surgery on an Indian in Narayana Health facility in Bangalore. Why? For one thing, Indians tend to have bad hearts. Not bad people's hearts, but Indians tend to have weak hearts genetically. That means a surgeon doing the same procedure on an Indian in Narayana Health has to have higher skill to reduce mortality. Not only that, pollution in India is much worse than in the US. Hygienic conditions in India are much worse than in the US. That means post-surgery mortality tends to be high in India. If you adjust for these risk factors, what Narayana Health has achieved is truly remarkable. And if you can make a product at ultra low cost and at the same time better quality than what is offered in the US, why would the US customer not want it? As you know, a couple of years ago, Narayana Health has taken that business model to Cayman Islands. In fact, they're going to put up the largest cardiac facility in Cayman Island. And Cayman Island, as you know, is a 1-hour flight from Miami. And that facility is targeted at the American consumer. Narayana Health wants to show in the Cayman Island facility how you can do open heart surgery for a fraction of the cost it takes to do it inside the US. And then spend maybe 3 weeks vacationing in Cayman Islands. This is the power of reverse innovation. And I contend this is the opportunity Indian companies have. And by the way, when you pursue reverse innovation, we also address one of the most fundamental issues facing India, which is income inequality. This is perhaps the single biggest agenda item for any political party in India. And there are 2 models to reduce income inequality. One model is, the extreme form of it is communism. And communism reduces income inequality by making everybody equal, by making everybody poor. It doesn't work. We used that in India in 1947. We embraced a form of communism, socialistic pattern of society. The net result is we bankrupted the country. There is another form, another model to address income inequality, that is capitalism. the American form of capitalism, the 20th century capitalism, that too has miserably failed us. In fact, India opened up the borders and embraced American form of capitalism in 1991. What has been the result in the last 25 years? Certainly, American form of capitalism increases the GDP, that I agree. Our GDP was about 200 billion in 1991. Today it exceeds 2 trillion. So the GDP has grown 10x.